Hey folks, welcome back. So sorry for not posting for a little while. I was wrapped up in some very intense work stuff. I did get there in the end, I'm pleased to say, but it meant there was no time for anything else, let alone YouTube. But now I'm back, everything's submitted. So I thought we'd take a look at some Traveler stuff again. Last time we looked at the 2300 AD setting, the main box set, which in general I think is really excellent in terms of content, but I'm still not sure why it's not a hardcover and why it costs quite so much. When I bought that, I also managed to get hold of the copies of these two books here, Vehicles of the Frontier and Tools for Frontier Living. Now, there are two more major supplements out for 2300 AD. There's the Aerospace Engineer's Handbook and there's Ships of the Frontier. Those I will buy as well eventually, and we'll look at those as they come in. But in the meantime, I thought I'd give you a quick look at these guys. As I said during the review of the main box set, one of the interesting things about this setting is that it really is giving you that frontier feel. Humanity is making its first leaps out into interstellar space. We had our first contact with 4 or 5 different species, some that are sentient and some that are sort of semi-sentient or on the border of sentience. And so there's a lot of exploration, there's a lot of battling for territory. Of course, there are many hazards of building colonies and setting up life on distant worlds. And so if you're into that, if you're into the exploration side of the Traveler experience and the sci-fi role-playing experience, I think 2300 AD is a good way to go. And these two books here add to that feel. In regular Traveler, I find, you tend to use a limited selection of vehicles. You use your grav sleds and stuff like that to get around, and your ATVs that you might have stowed in your scout or whatever to romp around a planetscape. In 2300 AD, you need to get down and dirty, do some work, get some sort of colonies on the frontier going, keep them protected, get stuff set up. So vehicles and tools seems to me even more useful in that context. So I was happy to get these books first, see how they vibe with the whole setting. So we'll start with the vehicles. There's loads of cool things that you can pick up in this book for your burgeoning colony that you want to build. Now, if you look at the back here, note something interesting, which is that Vehicles of the Frontier supports the upcoming invasion campaign, providing many vehicles involved on all sides of the looming war with the Kafirs. Now, this campaign has been listed on the upcoming releases of Mongoose's page for quite some time, but it still says TBA. It's not in layout, it's not sort of fully written. I don't know what the plan is regarding the release for that. Maybe we'll see it in 2025, fingers crossed. They did come out with the other exploration-based campaign, the Bayern box set, which I've heard is pretty good. If you like that sort of thing, it's similar to the Deep Night Revelations campaign for Charted Space Traveler. An invasion campaign and the military conflict that would involve would be a lot of fun and would vibe very well with the 5th Frontier War stuff that's happening right now in Charted Space as well. But anyway, at least you'll have some vehicles ready for battle whenever that drops. So without any further ado, let's take a look through here. Nothing on the anniversary report, just Deep Black Void. You can see it's a relatively short book. It's about 120 pages long, and it's divided into a few different sections. So we've got an intro, where vehicles are made, personal transport, civilian and commercial vehicles, including aircraft and watercraft. We've got military and paramilitary vehicles, and then we got alien vehicles, walkers, which are basically mechs, which is pretty cool. Different types of drones, which are used fairly frequently in the 2300 AD setting, both as weapons and as exploratory tools. Then you have vehicle modification rules and walker modification rules. So there you go. All right, so in the intro here, basically they talk about how the use of vehicles in the frontier is pretty much a requirement. A typical homestead that's been around tends to accumulate a lot of vehicles. So ATVs, trucks, and vehicles on the frontier are different than what you find back on the core worlds because they need to be prepared for all sorts of crazy crap that might happen on the frontier. So you'll notice a lot of vehicles in here will have, hostile environment protection is one of the features, for example. They'll tend to burn stuff like alcohol for fuel because it's much easier to produce than things like hydrogen. Multi-fuel engines are popular so that you have flexibility, stuff like that. Hovercraft are commonly associated with the frontier, but also tend to get a lot of more conventional ground vehicles, including tracked and wheeled vehicles. And also they mention jump jets, which are used with hovercraft to give them the ability to hop over obstacles, but they have a significant penalty to speed, maneuverability, and obviously consume a lot more fuel while they're using these jet thrusters. And they're also really, really loud, and they talk about that here in the noise sidebar. As for vehicle manufacturing, most of the production is carried out in the core worlds, and then they're sent out to the frontier. So current colonial policy for most nations concentrates manufacturing capability in the core and requires colony worlds to purchase finished goods from the home nation, often in exchange for raw materials. And a lot of these vehicles aren't actually for sale in the core because they're not really needed. They're built specifically for the frontier. They're sturdier, they're stronger, they're not really interested in fashion or style. They're purely about functionality and being rugged, essentially. And they have some details here, vehicle manufacturers from different nationalities, the type of products they make. And then we get right into personal transport. So we start with simple stuff, bicycles, hang gliders, jetpacks, which is pretty cool. The jet board, the ornithider, a one-person semi-powered ultralight glider, trusty old parachute, so a simple method of aerial descent, as they call it. And they have some basics here for each of those. The skill required to use them, the bonus or malus to agility that you get from them, tech level required, which tops out at 11 for the jetpack and the ornithider, weight in kilograms, and the cost in livres, which as we know is the equivalent of credits in this setting. We also have the parawing, parachute that you can aim and control with an aerofoil, and the wingsuit, which we know today is the squirrel suit, where you can jump and sort of glide like a flying squirrel. It's very cool. And right from there we get into the mass transit stuff, and here we get more full-on listings for each vehicle. So we get the tech level, the skill required, the agility bonus or malus, speed at the top end, and their cruise speed, their range, which in the case of this maglev train is effectively unlimited. Their armor on front, sides, and rear, sometimes on the bottom. Number of crew to operate, the amount of passengers, cargo they can carry, the hull points they have, the shipping size they require to carry, the cost of the item, which in this case is 504,000 livres. The traits, so here we have a rail rider with maglev and external power. The equipment they have on board, so here we have autopilot, bunks, communications, computer 4, control system improved, hostile environment protection. As I noted, you're going to see that almost everywhere. Mini galley, navigation system improved, sensors basic, tractor 1,125 tons, and then the equipment gives you some bonuses. So the autopilot is advanced, so it gives you +3. Communications is 500 kilometers range. Navigation gives you +2 to navigation rolls, and sensors give you +0 because it's just a basic sensor suite. And that's the basic outline for the vehicle stat blocks for everything in the book. And here they say this is the stat block for the maglev sort of locomotive car. That's why it only needs 4 crew and holds no passengers and a limited amount of cargo. It's basically the engine driving the entire train, which apparently can be up to 90 cars long with a locomotive at either end. So we're talking about really big maglev trains here. Then we have here a separate listing for a passenger car, which you can see down there. So each passenger car you can see holds 60 people, and the agility mod is much lower. It's from -2 to -4. Armor is the same. Otherwise, we've got similar stuff, but there's some different systems on board to cater to passengers and a lesser comms range. And then we got stuff like transit buses. So we've got like an articulated bus here for transit on the surface. We've got the range bus, which is more like a safari vehicle designed for off-road use and rough terrain. So this has stuff like aquatic drive. It's got a drone rack to sort of check out your surroundings, heavy winches, again hostile environment protection. All of these have that so far. It's got better navigation and autopilot. Then we have some pictures here of the Aerodyne drone cab and the MX friendly auto cab, which are actually listed on the last page here. So the drone cab is much like it sounds, an automated flying taxi cab. It flies using an Aerodyne system, which as you can see here is these kind of vertical takeoff and landing turbo fans. So it doesn't move that quickly, this one, but it's got a long range, up to 1,500 kilometers at cruise speed. It just carries 4 passengers, and it's got an advanced autopilot, so it can get you where you need to go. And then for the ground-based equivalent, we have the Mr. Friendly Auto Cab, self-driving ground vehicle, again with an advanced autopilot and good navigation. So these are just the basic things that people would use to get around on a colony. Then we get into civilian and commercial vehicles. So this is stuff to be owned by companies or by people. And here we got a whole range of stuff. So we start off with an off-road motorcycle. The drive wheel can move pretty fast. It's got a decent range, but only 2 hull points. It is an all-terrain vehicle, as you can see under traits, but yeah, it could blow up pretty easy. The Sherpa, that's this big monstrosity here with big wheels. Doesn't move very quickly, but it is ATV. It's got smart wheels, big hefty tractor, and a winch as well. So this is more of a workhorse vehicle. It's very robust and easy to maintain. We've got the commuter car, this cute little guy here. It's a single passenger vehicle used in sort of urban areas of larger colonies, but they're basically a supplement to mass transit systems. So you might come in by train or ATV or range truck if you're living out in the sticks. Then you get off that and hop into a compact car and just pay a nominal charge and get you to where you need to be. Then you have the Bridgeport Swift Raven. So this is a luxury ground car. So this is used for executives. You can see it's heavily armored, 14, 12, and 14, much higher than the 3s we've seen so far. Got a lot of systems here, entertainment systems, autopilots, everything enhanced. We've got hostile environment protection, of course, short-term life support, smart wheels, all kinds of cool stuff. It's got a +3 agility, so it's agile, and it's got a high speed as well, but relatively short range, can carry 6 passengers. So it's a nice fancy limousine, essentially. And then the executive version, which is designed for increased survivability. So it's got even more agility. It can go very fast and cruise at fast, which got a longer range, much more armor even, and plus it's got armor on the bottom as well. And this one can only hold 4 passengers and half the cargo. That's because it's got things like anti-missile systems, ECM to protect you from incoming shots and stuff like that. You can see it's pretty beastly looking. It's heavily armored. You can see the minigun up there, and it's got these 2 weapon listings here. So the binary rotary machine gun, 4 dice of damage, AP5 and auto fire 8. pretty good. Fire control +2, and the minigun anti-missile system, 2D of damage, and auto 6, so it'll take out incoming strikes against the vehicle. And then on the other end of the scale, we've got the Vanocchio 420X sports car. It's a high-performance automobile, just gives you the need for speed. So speed is fast, agility +2. We're back to regular armor. It's not designed for survivability, only 6 hull points compared to the 20 we've got for the Bridgeport Swift Raven and the Raven Executive, but does have a little bit of autopilot, decent navigation system, and yeah, half decent range as well, but it's designed for showing off. It's not going to be commonplace on most colony worlds, but on colonies with urban centers and enough roads to make them viable to get around and show off, you might find them. And we've got the off-road car, which is a very oddly shaped little thing here. This guy is generally designed for being away from urban areas and extremely rough terrain. Gear up to 5 people. It's got a agility of +1, decent speed, and half-decent armor at 7 on all sides, but nothing on the bottom. 1 crew and 4 passengers, and it's an off-roader. More survival-oriented equipment here. Hostile environment protection, fire extinguishers, improved comm systems, if you get stuck somewhere, med kits, stuff like that. In a similar note, we have trailer G250 Gator, which is an articulated chassis, allowing it to sort of snake its way over rough terrain. And the only thing that's better than this at getting over rough terrain, apparently, is the jet-equipped hovercraft. At cruise speed, slow, highest speed is medium. Again, minimal armor and cargo, but it does have 24 hull points, so it's not too terrible. It's got ATV and aquatic drive, and then it's got some useful stuff for off-road navigation and a good comm system. Then we got the American Motors Sierra off-road pickup truck, so it's heavy-duty suspension, all-wheel drive, so another off-roader, but it's not an ATV. We have, again, relatively minimal armor, but 30 hull points, so it's reasonably robust. It does have some autopilot and navigation pluses and a 500-kilometer communication range, plus a med kit and a medium winch as well if you get stuck somewhere. Then we got the Metzger Aerosport. It's a lightweight single-person hovercraft. Pretty cool. It's described here as like an off-road motorcycle. It does have jump jets as well, so you need drive hover for that. It's got armor 3 on all sides, just 1 crew, no passengers, 250 kilograms of cargo. And it's got 20-meter jump jets, so it can hover 20 meters above the ground, but it's going to be really noisy and burn a lot of fuel. +0 for autopilot, but +1 for nav, and 500 kilometers range. So it'll be a lot of fun to drive solo, and it doesn't cost too much, relatively 17,000 Libra. And we can see pictures of them here, so you can see the massive jump jet here on the Aerosport with the hovercraft base there, and basically you do sit on it like a motorcycle. Propulsion there in the back. This is the off-road pickup truck. Got the Mule Corp Mule utility vehicle down here. So it's a small prime mover designed to push or pull heavy loads on prepared surfaces. So it's a modified design, having formed the basis of everything from a forklift to an excavator, self-propelled stairs in frontier spaceports. So it's a useful kind of framework for a lot of different types of vehicles. Got the off-roader trait, drives either slow or cruises at very slow. So it's not one for the need for speed, but it does carry a decent amount of cargo. Only needs 1 crew. It's pretty cheap at $6,700, and it's got basic tractor system and control system. Then we've got the Nomad ATV, which is a pretty large vehicle here. So it's designed for use on hostile but habitable planets. It's designed to comfortably house a small group of people for long periods of time. So the emphasis is habitability and comfort rather than utility. So it's kind of like a safari vehicle, if you like. And these, of course, are tracked vehicles, so you need drive track for that. Tech level is a little bit higher at 11. Got some decent armor, 9 on all sides, nothing on the bottom though. -1 to agility because they are slow and big. The range is pretty decent, up to 1575 at cruise. They can hold 6 passengers, they need 2 crew, a lot of hull points, 240, so they're pretty robust. Of course, they are ATV, and there's a load of useful stuff on here. Airlocks, atmosphere samplers, bunks, computers, drone racks, entertainment systems, hostile environment protection, of course, and even staterooms. So definitely designed for long-range expeditions. The autopilot's not the right home about, but it's got a good comm range, good navigation. And then you got the Gorman Systems T90 semi-tractor, so that's this guy. Future version of a lorry designed to pull heavy trailers, so it needs to be on at least partially built roads. It's not made for cross-country travel in the middle of the bush, if you like. Again, we're back to 3 armor on all sides. It can go at medium, but cruises at slow. It's usually +1, so it's reasonably maneuverable compared to some of the other heavy lift vehicles. Relatively limited range, but it can carry only 0.5 tons of cargo in the cab, but of course you can attach massive cargo containers to it and pull loads of stuff. Got a highly advanced autopilot, which is handy, especially if you need to haul cargo over long distances. Let the autopilot take over. It's got a long-range comm. It's got some fire extinguishers, entertainment systems, the kind of stuff that would help a long-distance trucker stay amused. And we got the Hercule heavy utility vehicle, based on the chassis of the Explorer ATV. Lacks special features of all that. It's been taken out. It's just got a control control cab, and a flatbed deck. So it's commonly used in resource extraction and farming industries. So again, you need drive track for this one. Agility -1 because it's pretty hefty. It can carry 8.5 tons of cargo, 120 hull points. It's got the ETV trait, so it's better suited for cross-country travel. Not a lot of systems here, so we've got basic comms range of 50, plus 0 autopilot, and not much else. There is a heavy winch, though, if you need to pull somebody out of trouble. Then we got the Mashkod Bijiki tractor. It's only tech level 10, but it can have a number of attachments given to it, including forklifts, power shovels, loaders, augers for digging, combine harvesters. They're very flexible vehicles, good for colony usage. They're wheeled vehicles at tech level 10, agility +0, speed is either slow or cruised at very slow. Armor 4 on all sides, 90 hull points, and they have the ATV trait. And they got a decent amount of gear already before you even think about hooking stuff up to them. They got enhanced autopilot, basic comms, decent controls, 4 mini drones, ground penetrating radar, hostile environment protection, and the modular bay with 12 spaces is where you would hook up powered attachments, which is pretty cool. Then you've got the modular attachments themselves. So the auger is to drill stuff, the excavator to dig stuff, forklift to lift stuff, the bulldozer blade to bulldozer stuff. You got a drill drilled up to 300 meters down, and then the multi-combine. So it's for high-density mechanized farms, tilling soil, planting seeds, spraying chemicals, etc. It's got tech levels of 9 for all of those, how many spaces they take up, shipping size and cost. Terrain Fabrique D6000 heavy mining dump truck. That's this guy here. Looks pretty much like a massive dump truck of today, really. It's tech level 11. Though, -1 agility because it is pretty hefty. Armor of 3 on all sides. Not such a great range, about 900 at the maximum. It's an off-roader, so it can deal with rough roads. It does have an airlock, so you could use it on hostile environment planets. Of course, it has hostile environment protection and a heavy winch, as you might expect. It can carry 452 tons of cargo, which is pretty awesome. Then we also have the Terrain Fabrique LK250 hovercraft and the D40 light excavator, which are on the next page here. So the light excavator is a lightweight 4-wheel vehicle with a backhoe and front-end loader. So it's used for constructions in older colonies that can support specialized vehicles. This is the standard model. Tracked vehicle, armor 3 on all sides. It's either slow or very slow. Agility -1. Not a huge range, but it is all terrain. 5 tons of cargo, but 150 hull points. So it's pretty robust. And it's got digger blades, geological samplers, life support, as well as hostile environment protection and vacuum protection. That's pretty good. And +1 for sensors as well. Terrain Fabrique LK250. It's a large capacity ACV. So this is a hover vehicle. So you need drive hover for this one. It's got armor 3 on all sides, except the bottom, of course. It can move at high speed and cruise at medium. And at cruise speed, it can travel up to 1,125 kilometers, which is not too bad, but it needs 6 crew. But it can hold 50 passengers as well. You can see it's quite a large vehicle. In the picture there, you can see there's a lot of rooms and stuff. Got an enhanced autopilot giving you a +2. It's got a decent computer. It's got 5 galleys, hostile environment protection, and improved sensors and navigation. So not too bad. Then we get into aircraft. We got some cool stuff in here. So we've got some tilt rotor vehicles. You may be familiar with these if you've ever seen the Osprey 22. We can assume in 300 years they would have perfected it. So we have here the Trilon Inc. CB330 Colossus heavy lift tilt rotor. So it's tech level 11. You need flyer wing for this one. It's armor 3 on all sides again. Agility +0. Its speed is maximum fast or cruise at high, with a huge range of up to 7,500 miles at cruise. Needs 4 crew, can carry 100 passengers and 10 tons of cargo. 300 hull points, so again, pretty robust. Off-roader, which I guess means that you can take off from reasonably rough terrain, but not from absolutely anywhere. Given that it is a tilt rotor, you should be able to take off like a helicopter, tilt the rotors forward, and travel as a prop plane, essentially. It's got improved comms, enhanced autopilots, fire extinguishers, improved navigation, short-term life support, and tilt rotor, of course. You can also, it says, remove the passenger seats, giving them a carrying capacity of 35 tons of cargo instead of 10. It's a transportation workhorse for militaries as well, because you can carry those 100 passengers could be paratroopers. So, very handy. Then we got the tilt jet transport, which you can see over here, the BF-322. So it's a heavy aircraft with tilt jets near the roots of the wings. They incorporate vectored thrust, which gives them greater agility. They can land and take off from just about anywhere except for water. They can carry 100 passengers, 27 tons of cargo, or a mixed of those combinations. It's got 14 armor on all sides, so it's pretty tough. Tech level 12, that's the highest we've seen so far. It's a flyer wing with agility of +1. Speed is very fast, or can cruise it fast. Huge range of up to 15,000 kilometers at cruise. cruise because it's a jet. Crew of 4, 20 passengers, 23 tons of cargo, 240 hull points. It costs 32 million credits, so it's a big investment. But it does have great autopilot, 500 kilometer comms range. It's got crane, hostile environment protection, life support, of course, med kits, improved nav system, a Neuralink control system, which is nice, and the tilt jet ability as well. Then we got the Rock Pigeon or Rock Pig utility helicopter, which is this guy here. It's got a dual rotor setup, as you can see. It's a basic design on the frontier worlds. It's common, but it's long been superseded on the core worlds. It's got counter-rotating main rotors that can be unloaded in forward flight, along with a pusher fan for propulsion, which is the one in the back there. So it can also be quite fast for a helicopter and can transition to full VTOL mode, vertical takeoff and landing. So you need flyer rotor for that, tech level 10, armor 3 on all sides, agility is +1, speed, fast, or cruise at high, and if you're cruising, you get a range of 1050 kilometers, which is pretty good. 1 crew, 3 passengers, 400 kilos of cargo, only 4 hull points. So trying to get shot out of the sky. It does have life support and a good autopilot, good comms, good navigation, and a +1 to sensors as well. Then we got this fancy little fellow, the Tricom Aviation GX88 Gyrocopter. It's a small 2-person rotorcraft built to operate in a variety of environments. The rotor is modular, and they can have 3 different sets of them, so it can be customized for different gravity and atmosphere combo. That's pretty cool. It can also jettison the rotor assembly entirely and deploy a parachute if you have an emergency. That's handy. And because of that, it's tech level 12. You need flyer rotor. It's got +1 agility. You can move at the same speed as the other chopper, fast or high, but it's got a much longer range, 7,500 at fast or 11,250 at high. 1 crew, 1 passenger, no cargo. It's got a basic autopilot, decent comms and decent navigation, and it has the folding rotors and recovery system, which is really important if you do get shot out of the sky or something happens to your rotors or the hostile environment gets you. Then we got the Havilland S-56 light bush plane flying boat. That's this guy here. So it's a conventional small plane, but it's designed for rough conditions. It's got pontoons for water landings. If the floats are taken off, you can actually increase the agility to +2 instead of +1. So they create more drag in the air, basically. But this is the floating model they have stats for here. So it's got armor 3 on all sides. You need flyer wing. You can go fast or cruise at high, and the range is 3,000 or 4,500 kilometers respectively. 1 crew, 3 passengers, 250 kilos of cargo, only 5 hull points, and it's got relatively basic systems, but enhanced comms and enhanced navigation. Plus you've got floats, recovery system, and it's got STOL, so short takeoff and landing, which is convenient for bushcraft. Then you've got the Coach G Aircraft CL500 flying boat, this big pink monster right here. It says worlds on the frontier notorious for poorly developed infrastructure. So tilt rotors can land at difficult locations. They're expensive and difficult to maintain. So flying boats can be useful because all they need is a stretch of water, not a runway. And this is an example of one of those. It's from Japan's Kochi Aircraft, a jet-powered flying boat commonly used as a passenger or cargo aircraft, and it can also be a water bomber for controlling forest fires. That's handy. So it's tech level 11, armor 3 on all sides, flyer wing is a skill you need, agility +1, can fly very fast and cruise it fast, range is 7,000 and 10,500 respectively, crew of 3, passengers 50, cargo 5 tons, 160 hull points, and it's got no specific traits, but it does have enhanced autopilot, enhanced comms, enhanced navigation, and good sensors. It's also got a mini galley and a medium winch, and 20 entertainment systems for the pleasure of your guests if you're using it as a passenger vehicle. Then you've got the Masic Elephant Cyclocrane, this guy here. So this is a hybrid airship that combines aerostatic lift and aerodynamic lift from 4 aerofoils arranged around its center. It's an airship flyer, so you need that skill for this guy. It's got an armor of 3 on all sides, agility -1, and its speed is either slow or very slow for cruise. It can carry 3 crew, no passengers, only 0.5 tons of cargo, and 44 hull points. But it does have a good autopilot, good comm system, decent navigation, a fire extinguisher, and 2 heavy winches, so it can lift heavy stuff beneath it. It's handy. Then we got the Zeppelin Work GL500 transport airship, which is a big guy. You can see right here. It's one of the largest aircraft to see use on the frontier. It's a tech level 11 airship flyer, agility -2 due to its massive size. Again, it's got armor 3 everywhere. It can cruise faster. It can fly up to medium speeds, more than the other airship, or it can cruise it slow. It's got a huge range of either 10,000 or 15,000 kilometers, depending on which mode. 8 crew, 20 passengers, 113 tons of cargo, so pretty big, and 1,000 hull points. Massive. It's also got aquatic drive, basic autopilot, improved comms, drone rack, mini galley ×2, wet bar ×2, and 4 heavy winches. +0 on your autopilot and sensors, but you get a +2 on nav and a longer communication range, so that's pretty cool. There's also a variant with a passenger cruise version with 30 somewhat Spartan staterooms and less than 40 tons of cargo. Then we got the Bridge Swift Sparrow air car. That's what I want. Look at that guy. That's cool. Extremely rare sight, though. It's not as robust or flexible as tilt-rotor aircraft and requires extensive work to operate anywhere else. They're very exotic, and while they have limitations, they're among the most maneuverable aircraft to be found. How cool is that? So they're tech level 12, very advanced. They're Aerodyne flyers. They've got these tilted ducted fan jets, it looks like. They got 10 armor on all sides, which is pretty good. They can have agility plus 5. Wow. Top speed is fast. Cruise speed is high. Not in a huge range. 1400 at fast or 2100 at cruise. Crew of 1, passengers 3, 125 kilos of cargo, only 5 hull points. But they do have an aquatic drive, an autopilot, basic, drone rack, 2 mini galleys, 2 wet bars, and 4 heavy winches. So you get some bonuses on your autopilot, a pretty long comms range of 1,000, plus 4 to your navigation and plus 1 to your sensors, but they cost 361,000 livres. So the personal vehicle, pretty expensive. Then we got the British Exospace CRV-22. That's this guy here. This is another Aerodyne vehicle, relatively uncommon again in the frontier rather than the core worlds, suited for search and rescue, especially in dense areas. It's another Aerodyne flyer with high agility, plus 4. It's got an 8 armor on all sides. It can go maximum high speed, cruise at medium. Very short range though, 175 or 262.5 respectively. 2 crew, 6 passengers, 3 tons of cargo, 20 hull points. It's got an auto med, which is handy. Improved autopilot, 3 bunks. You have enhanced controls, enhanced nav, and improved sensors. So you get some good DMs there, but a short comms range on that one. Finally, we have the Trilon Aerospace L500 VTOL Emergency Response Vehicle, or ERV. It's an Aerodyne rescue vehicle, so again, you need the flyer Aerodyne skill. You can see it's got big, massive engines there. Agility plus 3, armor 8 on all sides. It can go high speed or cruise at medium, range of 1,000 or 1,500 respectively. 2 crew, 4 passengers, 14 hull points, and it's got some useful stuff, including aquatic drive, a decent autopilot, comm systems improved. It's got drone racks, fire extinguishers, mini galleys, wet bars, and 4 winches. So you get plus 3 to your autopilot, 500 kilometer comms range, plus 1 nav, and plus 1 sensors. Pretty good. Now we get into watercraft. So a lot of the colony worlds, as we saw in the box set, have pretty large bodies of water, which is a kind of prerequisite for them being livable, really. So watercraft are pretty useful. Sargasso Sea Systems APY personal watercraft, kind of a jet ski, essentially. So it's got a control system enhanced in hydrofoil. It needs the skill Seafarer Personal, tech level 11. It's got agility plus 0, speed slow or cruise it very slow, and a short range of 200 or 300. Just 1 crew, no passengers, no cargo, so it's purely a joyriding vehicle. Armor 3 on all sides. We also have the Pan 50 workboat, Tiger Shark powerboat, which will be on the next page. So the workboat, these are rigid inflatable designs and very hard to sink. They tend to be outfitted with navigation equipment, and they can be used for military applications as well. Tech level 11, Seafarer Personal, agility minus 1, slow or very slow, range 600 or 900, armor 3 on all sides, 1 crew, 5 passengers, 20 hull points. Not much to speak about as far as gear. It's got a short comms range, plus 0 for autopilot and sensors, but it does have plus 2 on navigation. So Tiger Shark powerboat is another recreational vehicle. This could be used for like smuggling things or running blockades. There's also a version with stealth improved, apparently, that would cost another 100,000 or so on top of the cost listed here. This is the base version, tech level 11, Seafarer Personal, agility plus 1, speed high or cruise at medium, with a decent range, 800 or 1,200, armor 3 everywhere, 1 crew, 4 passengers, 750 kilos of cargo, 28 hull points. It's got a half-assed autopilot, computer, control system, entertainment systems, hydrofoils, luxury fittings, improved nav system that gives you the plus 2 here, medium winch if you need to tow something. Then we got the Dolphin Marine Industries MY90 fishing boat. So it's a stable catamaran hull. I'm presuming it's on the next page here. Yep, there we go. That's the catamaran hull, you can see. So these are large boats with a lot of refrigerated storage, a galley, a head, and supply storage for extended voyages. Fishing boats, essentially. But they're not very agile, minus 4, as you can see. And they can go maximum at medium speed or cruise at slow, but they've got a very long range, 6,000 or 9,000. 20 crew and no passengers, 33 tons of cargo, which will be mostly fish, I expect. Got an enhanced autopilot, good comms range at 500, and plus 2 navigation DM. Plus you've got a galley, hydrofoil, and some medium winches to tow stuff as well. Then you got the Alvin 4 class research submarine. You can see that guy right here. It's kind of cool. A bit of a manta ray shape to that one. So you can dive to the deepest depths of Earth's oceans and beyond. It's a tech level 12, so quite advanced. You need Seafarer Submarine. It's got armor 20 on all sides. What's new here, because it's a submarine, we've got its safe depth at 12,000 meters, which is pretty significant. Crush depth at 36,000 meters. So at 36 kilometers below the surface, you're going to get squashed. But it's got agility plus 1. The speed, however, is either slow or very slow, and the range is small, 200 or 300. You need 2 crew to operate it, 250 kilos of cargo. cargo, 60 hull points. Does have a good autopilot, comms range, which you need, I guess, if you're going deep underwater. +4 to navigation, +2 to sensors, +2 underwater sensors, and -1 to stealth. So this is a research submarine rather than a military one, so they're more concerned about investigation, so that's why they have good sensors, good nav, and good autopilot. Stealth, less important there. And they talk about here how to obtain the proper operating depths depending on the local gravity. Then we got the Carter-class multi-purpose submarine, with this guy down here, more conventional looking. That's a medium-sized one designed for passengers. It's tech level 10, agility -3, armor on all 3 sides, much lower depths. So safe depth 1200, crush depth 3600. And it's got 2 crew, 22 passengers, 11 tons of cargo, got some airlocks, 10 bunks for longer journeys, and it's got a much longer range, 1500 or 2250 compared to the other submarine. And it's got good autopilot, good nav, good underwater sensors, and a 500 kilometer comms range. So not too bad. Then we have the Calypso-class research vessel, which is this guy here. So it needs seafarer ocean ship for this one. And it says practically any world with a sizable hydrosphere has vessels like this plumbing its seas. It's got agility -3, fastest speed at medium, cruises at slow, ranges 8,000 or 12,000 respectively, armor 3 on all sides, 6 crews, 8 passengers, 8 tons of cargo, 1,400 hull points because it's ginormous, and it's got a huge list of stuff which I'm not even going to attempt to list, but that gives it a good autopilot, 1,000 kilometer comm range, +2 nav, +1 sensors, +2 underwater sensors, and -2 camouflage. Ozymandias luxury craft, which is this guy here. I'm not sure what's hanging off its butt there, but looks like a pool, perhaps. So, yeah, symbol of wealth, as it says here. It also carries a pair of personal watercraft and has hangar space for a small helicopter or aerodyne as well. So, once again, seafarer ocean ship needed for this one. Its fastest speed is medium, cruise speed is slow, agility -3, range is 8,000 or 12,000 depending on speed, armor 3 on all sides, 6 crew, 8 passengers, 33 tons of cargo, 1,400 hull points again. It is massive. Again, a whole load of stuff here, which amounts to basic autopilot. Pretty good comms range at 1,000 kilometers, +2 nav, +1 sensors, and -2 camouflage. Then we got this big old trusty cargo carrier kit. So it's a tech level 11 ocean ship, agility -4, but a long range at 8,000 at medium or 12,000 at slow, armor 3 on all sides, 10 crew, no passengers, 454 tons of cargo, 8,000 hull points. Wow. Take a long time to blow it up. It's got a bunch of cool stuff, including heavy cranes, 2 galleys, 12 staterooms, 4 heavy winches, and it's got a good autopilot, good long comms range at 1,000, +2 nav, and +1 sensors. Then we get into military and paramilitary vehicles. So our ground vehicles, we have the Bridgeport Swift Warbird, which is a hovercraft, you can see here. So this guy, you need drive and hover. It's got +2 agility, 13 armor on all sides. So we're getting into military class armor here. It moves at high speed or cruises at medium, 600, 900 range respectively. 1 crew, 3 passengers, 14 hull points. Pintle mount medium machine gun, the stats for which are down below. So 4D damage with auto 4 and fire control +1. Not much to say about his autopilot or sensors, but it does get +1 nav. It's only got a short comms range though. Then we have the Houston Motors M334 Bowie MRAP. So this one is used by Texas, the Incan Republic, and the Life Foundation. Tech level 11, you need drive wheel for this one because it's got wheels instead of a hover thing. It's got 18, 16, 14 armor for front, sides, and rear, and 18 more on the bottom, which is handy. And it looks like you can buy some additional armor plating as well for the front, sides, and rear. It's got the ATV trait. It's got anti-missile systems, which is the explosive belt AMS down here. Got a heavy machine gun as well, +2 autopilot, 500 kilometers comm range, -1 camouflage, +1 nav, and +0 sensors. And it's got a heavy machine gun, 60 damage and auto 4. Pretty tough. Then we got the Trailer G350 Bear, which is another one of their articulated designs. It's a militarized version of the G250 that we saw earlier. Basically, this is designed to go through really rough terrain. It's got agility +3, wheel drive, armor 15 on all sides, nothing on the bottom. Takes 2 crew, no passengers, 2 tons of cargo, 36 hull points. It's amphibious, articulated chassis, and it's got, it says mine resistant. Bottom protection is 15. It's also got a small turret with a Gauss machine gun and a coaxial grenade launcher. So we've got the stats down here. The Gauss has a short range, but damage of 4D, armor piercing 6, auto 6. Grenade launcher range of 3, 60 damage, auto 3, blast 5. So pretty decent weaponry on that weird looking thing. Got the Commando Scout Car, which we see right here. It's a 4-wheeled armored vehicle. It's got 12 armor on all sides. It's a wheeled vehicle at tech level 10. Agility +1. Range is relatively small, 500, 750, depending on medium or slow speed. 2 crew, 16 hull points. It's an off-roader. It's got a smoke discharger. It's got a 20mm autocannon, 5D damage and auto 4. A light machine gun as well with 3D damage and auto 4. It's got +1 to nav and sensors and a 500 kilometer comms range. range. We've got the armored car, the ABR-76, built by the French. So for such a small vehicle, apparently it's got impressive weaponry, it says. It's got a lot of armor, 24, 17, 14, and 24 more on the bottom. It's an ATV as well. Got an explosive belt anti-missile system, aquatic drive, autopilot, drone rack with 2 recon drones, and life support, improved sensor system with a mast, and a smoke discharger. And it's got 2 small turret-mounted weapons. We've got the CLP-1A, which is a destructive weapon, so it's 1D times 10 is what 1 double D means. Armor piercing 15, blast 10. Yikes. The medium machine gun, 4D damage, auto 4, and the explosive belt AMS, 2D damage, blast 5. And it's got +1 nav, +1 sensors, and 500 kilometers comms. Then we've got the main battle tank. Look at the armor on these guys. It's ridiculous when you get to the tanks. 143, 110, 93 in the rear, and 170 on the bottom. And you can get additional armor of 25 on each of these sides as well. These are obviously high tech level vehicles with big weapons. Tech level 12, drive track, agility +1, range of 600 to 900 at medium or slow, 4 crew, 358 hull points beneath all that armor, 58 tons. Look at all the weapons. Got heavy laser cannon, 2 destructive damage, so 2D times 10, armor piercing 25, 25mm autocannon, 6D auto 3, PGVM 5D, armor piercing 10, auto 4, blast 2, Gauss machine gun 4D, AP6 auto 6, a Manta 1 missile, armor piercing 20, hyperkinetic missile, 1 use and smart, so it's a homing missile. Then we got 2 types of anti-missile systems, the advanced laser with 2D auto 4 and the explosive belt 2D blast 5. So look at all this stuff, just tons of stuff. Plus it's got +2 autopilot, long comm range, +2 nav, +2 sensors, -2 stealth. Big monstrosity here, not one to mess with. We got the KPZ-2A1 main battle tank, which you can see here. This guy, again, is tech level 12, drive track, huge armor, 153, 108, 95, and 153 on the bottom, with +30 options available on the front, sides, and rear. Can travel 600 kilometers at high or 900 at medium, agility +0, 4 crew, 186 hull points, and then it's got loads and loads of stuff here. Loads of turrets, gun ports, autopilots, camouflage, advanced, stealth as well, smoke discharges, all kinds of stuff. And look at the weapons. You've got the EMK-65L, range of 6 with 3D times 10 damage, armor piercing 35, auto 3, hyperkinetic, so it's a super fast rail gun type thing. Got a binary rotary machine gun, 4D, AP5, auto 8, a Lux, which is a AP20 missile with hyperkinetic and smart, 30mm 6-barrel autocannon, 8D, AP10, auto 6, and then 2 types of AMS, same as the previous tank. And then we get loads of bonuses over here, so autopilot +2, short comm range, +1 nav, +2 sensors, -4 for the camouflage, and -2 for the stealth. We got the Freihafen Night Stalker V3A7 protected gun system, that's this guy here. It's a big ass wheeled vehicle with lots of armor, 77, 55, 45, and 77 respectively. Tech level 12, agility +1, 660 kilometers at medium, or 990 at slow is the range. Crew of 2, passengers 10, 250 kilos of cargo, 93 hull points. Armored fighting vehicle and an all-terrain vehicle, and it's got some drones, 2 anti-missile systems, aquatic drive, all kinds of stuff, and a decent autopilot, good nav system as well. Tasmania Heavy Machine Works Bandicoot engineering vehicle. Yeah, this appears to be a tank sort of adapted for engineering works and for military forces. So they prepare fortifications, clear mines, tow vehicles, or blow apart wreckage. So they're a tech level 10 tracked vehicle, armor 42, 22, 14, since they're mostly in the back lines. They move either slow or very slow with a range of 500 and 750 respectively. Crew of 3, hull points 240, and it's an armored fighting vehicle. It's got improved autopilot, diggers, cranes, cutting tools, digger blades, tractors and winches, so very good for your fortifications. +2 autopilot, 500 comms, +2 nav, +0 sensors, and -2 to your opponent's recon DM. And it's got a demolition gun, which does 1D times 10 damage, blast 30, yikes. And heavy rotary machine gun, 60 damage, auto 6. Then we got the Ukraine Comrat Hover APC, so tech level 11 hovercraft, agility 1, speed either high or medium, range 600 to 900 respectively. Lots of armor, 44, 38, 36, with 72 hull points underneath all that. 2 crew and 10 passengers. It's an armored fighting vehicle. It's got improved autopilot, anti-missile systems, improved camouflage, improved nav, sensor systems. So you get +2 autopilot, 1,000 kilometers comms range, +4 navigation, +1 sensors, -2 to recon DMs, and -1 to sensor DMs. Then we've got the 25mm autocannon on here, 6D auto 3, medium machine gun, 4D auto 3, a Lux missile, range 5, 12D damage, AP 15 and smart, and the explosive belt AMS, which we've seen before. Then we got the Chang anti-aircraft platform. It's fairly lightly armored in comparison to the other vehicles, 34, 22, and 20, with nothing on the bottom. It's a tracked vehicle, medium or slow, with agility -1. Range is 600 or 900, depending on the speed. Crew 3, and it's armed with a coil gun with a range of 4, 60 damage, AP 15, auto 6, and hyperkinetic, so that'll knock down your enemy aircraft. Then for closer range, it's got the medium machine gun and the minigun AMS, both of which we've seen before. So yeah, this is a good one for knocking out enemy aircraft. It's got a good autopilot, 500 kilometers comms range, +2 nav and +1 sensors. We got the Orok wheeled IFV, got the traits of armored fighting vehicle and all-terrain vehicle. So it's tech level 12, wheeled vehicle with agility 1, speed is either medium or slow with a range of 600, 900 respectively. This one does have bottom armor, 46, 40, 34, and 46 on the bottom. Got loads of useful stuff in it, including ECM, encrypted comms, lots of smoke dischargers and anti-missile systems and all that, plus camouflage. So you get +2 autopilot, 500 comms, +2 nav, +1 sensors, -2 to recon DMs, 30mm 6-barrel autocannon, range 2, damage 8D, AP 10, auto 6, arrow 12 missile, range of 1, damage 8D, AP 16, 1 use, overhead smart, medium machine guns, and minigun AMS for close range fighting. And you get +3 fire control on those first 3 weapons as well. Then we got the Battle Axe tracked IFV, looks pretty fierce there. This is used by Manchuria, and this one we've got relatively light armor, so it's classed as an armored fighting vehicle, but it's not a main battle tank or anything. It's a track drive, agility -1, medium or slow, range 600 or 900, 3 crew, 10 passengers, 125 kilos of cargo, 72 hull points, and it's got anti-missile, aquatic drive, autopilot improved, encrypted comms, lots of useful stuff, and it's armed with a small turret and 4 gun ports. You get +1 to your autopilot, 50 kilometer comms, +1 nav, +0 sensors, and +1 camouflage. And it's got a 25mm autocannon, a heavy rocket pod, which does 60 damage at range 2 with auto 2 and blast 4, and an explosive belt AMS. Got the Bessier ACVI-3 hover IFV. So this is a tech level 11 hover drive vehicle with 59 armor in the front, 47 in the sides, and only 35 in the rear. Agility +1, speed maxed out at high, cruises at medium, range is 600 or 900 respectively. Crew of 2, passengers of 8, hull points 54. It's an armored fighting vehicle, and it's got loads of useful stuff, camouflage, comms, which are improved and encrypted, etc. 10-meter jump jets, which is always nice to have, a prismatic aerosol dispenser, and a smoke discharger. And then you get with that your 20mm 3-barrel autocannon, 5D, auto 6, arrow 12 missiles, range 4, 8D damage, AP 16, overhead and smart, medium machine gun, and an explosive belt anti-missile system. And we got the VALR-12, an artillery vehicle. So this is built on the Bessier chassis. So they removed the turret and troop complement and instead put in a 12-cell artillery rocket launcher, which you can see here. So again, it's a hover drive vehicle, armor 59, 47, 35, agility +1, higher medium speed, 6 to 900 range, crew 2, only 2 passengers, 54 hull points, and it's an armored fighting vehicle with fixed mount artillery rocket pod with 12 reloads. Again, it's got the 10-meter jump jet still and the smoke discharges and other stuff. And it's got a pintle mount light machine gun and an explosive belt AMS. You can see that down here. The artillery rockets, they have a range of 20, damage of 5D, traits of auto 4 and blast 15, and the other guys we've seen before. The AC-8 hover tank got armor 75, 56, 46. A hover drive vehicle, tech level 11, top speed at high, cruise at medium, range 600 or 900 respectively. 3 crew, 76 hull points. Again, loads and loads of useful stuff that I won't read out, but useful military things like ECM, spotter drones, jump jets, 20 meters for this time, and then a ton of weapons. The LGS-85, range of 3, 2D times 10 damage, armor piercing 25 at auto 3, that's huge, 25mm autocannon, which we've seen before, a medium machine gun, arrow 12 missiles, and explosive belt anti-missile system. +2 on your autopilot and -4 on your camouflage for the advanced camouflage that it has here. ECM and other stuff also works into that, plus the reactive armor. We have the AC-10 and AC-12 hover tank. This is the AC-12 that's statted out here. It's the most modern one. It's tech level 12, hover drive, agility +3, moves at fast or it'll cruise at high speed. Armor 109, 63, 61, and 109 on the bottom. That's pretty good. +25 is available for the front, sides, and rear. It's an armored fighting vehicle. Again, loads of useful stuff, including a neural link in this one, and an advanced sensor system with a mast. and improved stealth. That's pretty cool. So it's got autopilot +2, comms 500, navigation DM +4, sensors +2, camouflage -4, and stealth -2. And then a load of weapons here. We've got the EMK-65, 20mm autocannon, the Manta 1 missiles we've seen before, medium machine guns, the Martel, range of 7. These are 60 damage, blast 4, one-use smart missiles. Got the explosive belt and advanced laser anti-missile systems. And then it tells you here how to downgrade the AC-12 to the AC-10, if you like. So reduce the speed, reduce the fire control, and remove the reactive armor. Then we got the LKPZ-9, so widely considered to be the most advanced hover tank. And look at that guy, got a big gun there. Tech level 12, hover drive, agility +4, speed is fast or cruise at high, range 700 or 1050 kilometers depending. Armor 105, 65, 53, 105 on the bottom. 3 crew, 58 hull points, and then it's got a load of powerful stuff on here, including camouflage, encrypted comms, more powerful computer, 20-meter jump jets, and some stealth as well. And it gives you +2 on your autopilot, 1,000 kilometers comms, +4 nav, +2 sensors, -2 camouflage, -2 stealth. Then you got your powerful weapons. You got the EMK-65 again. It's a very powerful weapon, 3DD. Binary rotary machine gun, 4D damage, AP5 auto 8. And then the Lux missiles again, and 2 types of anti-missile systems. The explosive belt and Gauss AMS, which is a new one, does 1D damage, auto 6. I feel like that's a typo. Probably should be more than 1D for a Gauss, but who knows. Then we got the American M9 hover tank. Not as good as the French ones, but still decent. It's tech level 11, hover drive obviously, armor 65, 50, and 40 with nothing at the bottom. It's an armored fighting vehicle, +2 agility, so not too bad, but it's only medium and slow speeds with a range of 600, 900 respectively. 98 hull points. Does have encrypted comms, 2 anti-missile systems, a drone cradle, basic ECM, 20-meter jump jets, and improved stealth. You get +2 autopilot, 500 kilometers comms, +2 nav, +1 sensors, -2 camo, -2 stealth. You get your CMK-75 for massive damage, medium machine gun, heavy machine gun, which is range 2, 60 auto 4, Manta 1 missiles, and 2 types of AMS, of course. So that's the M9 there, by the way, the American hover tank. Then we have the M24A3, also for the United States. This is another hover tank variant. A tech level 11 hover drive vehicle, agility +1. Moves faster at high or cruise at medium, 600, 900 range respectively. 3 crew and 10 passengers. Armor 51, 40, 33, so not too great, but it does have 86 hull points. It's got 2 anti-missile systems, decent computer, decoy dispensers, 10-meter jump jets, and some stealth. It's also got an A4 Stormgewehr, range 0.5, damage 8D, traits armor piercing 12, blast 5. Then it's got Manta 1 missiles and the 2 types of AMS. You get +2 on your autopilot, 500 kilometers comms, +2 nav, +1 sensors, and -2 for stealth. Then you have the Cobra LAV Strikecraft. This is kind of a middle ground between low altitude vehicles and hovercraft. So it's got vectored ground effect to provide high speed flight at altitudes of up to 50 meters. So they're hard on fuel, but they're very flexible. And you can see that their speed reflects that, very fast or fast. Tech level 12, obviously, because they're more sophisticated. Armor 46, 32, 26, and 46 on the bottom. They're still classed as hover drive, and their range is 700 to 1050, depending on very fast or fast for your speed. Crew of 2, 44 hull points. They're very expensive, 25 million, but they do carry a 30mm autocannon, a heavy rotary machine gun, Lux missiles, and minigun AMS. Let's see, they've got camouflage, comms, improved encrypted, corrosive environment protection, spotter drones, neural links, +2 autopilot, 500 kilometer comms, +1 nav, +1 sensors, -4 for camouflage. I would guess that flying at high speed low to the ground will make it hard to spot these guys as well. Then you got the GFP ZTR-13 German-built APC, tech level 12 hover drive, tank, armor 50, 30, 26, 50, agility +3, speed fast or high, range 700 or 1050, 3 crew, 8 passengers, 54 hull points. Then you've got armor fighting vehicle, traits, and loads of useful equipment, including 20-meter jump jets and improved ECM, +2 for your autopilot, 1,000 meters of comms, +4 nav, +1 sensors, -2 camo, -1 stealth, and then you've got the A7 PGVM, which does 8D damage at range 1, AP15 blast 4, you got your Lux missiles, your grenade launcher, binary rotary machine gun, and 2 types of AMS, minigun and explosive belt. Now we get into aircraft. So we've got Mandenal Helicopters SH-30 Rudevalk Patrol Tilt Rotor. So is there a picture here? Yeah, there it is. There's another tilt rotor design like the Osprey we see today. Technical 11, you need a flyer rotor skill for this. Got a lot of armor, 46, 32, 26. Speed of high or medium, agility +1, range 1,000 or 1,500 depending. Crew of 2, passengers of 8, hull points 11. And it's got pintle mounts with 3 heavy rotary machine guns and 4 hard points for other stuff. +2 autopilot, 50 kilometer comms, not that much. Nav DM +1, sensors +1. But the heavy rotary machine gun is decent. Then we've got the Diamondback helicopter gunship. That's this guy with another dual rotor system. Compound attack helicopter, rear mounted push propeller. So it's a rotor flyer with agility +3 and very fast top speed and fast cruise speed. Armor 15 on all sides except the bottom. Range is 1,000 or 1,500 depending. 2 crew, 8 hull points. It's got +2 autopilot, +4 nav, 1,000 kilometer comms, +2 sensors, -4 stealth, 25mm autocannon, light rocket pods, which do 40 damage at range 1.5, auto 3, blast 5. They got the Lux missiles and minigun AMS. Pretty cool. They've also got decoy control, Spencers, ejection seats, folding wings and rotors. So yeah, you can get out of these if they get shot down, so that's handy. Got this combat support helicopter here, pretty beefy, although surprisingly not much more armor. Well, the same armor as the helicopter gunship, 15 on all sides except the bottom. Tech level 12, flyer rotor, agility +1, moves only at fast or high, range is 1,000 or 1,500 depending. Crew of 5, no passengers, 50 hull points. No traits to speak of, but it does have a pintle mount heavy machine guns and grenade launchers and small turret 3-barrel autocannons. +2 autopilot, 50 kilometer comms, +1 nav, +1 sensors. You can see here the stats for the weapons, nothing that we haven't seen before. Then we got the FA-203C Shrike attack aircraft. Now, attack aircraft are relatively uncommon because air-to-air combat is more uncommon. There's lots of advanced missiles and lots of anti-air vehicles, so flying tends to be pretty dangerous. But this guy is a hypersonic vehicle. You can see it can go hypersonic or cruise at supersonic. You need flyer wings. It's got agility +2, armor 20, 11, 14, and 20 on the bottom. Range is 10,000 or 15,000. 2 crew, 78 hull points. It's got an AMD 50, range of 3, 1 double D damage, AP 25, and auto 3. It's pretty tough. 200 kilogram high explosive bombs, 1 double D, so it's 1D times 10. Blast 10, 1 use. Arrow 12 missiles for taking down other aerial vehicles. They have a range of 4, damage 8D, AP 16, 1 use, overhead and smart. Arrow 27 have a range of 20, damage of 3D. They're also 1 use and smart. And it's got an advanced laser anti-missile system. Then we've got the Letage Goshawk C Interceptor. So it's a rare example of a high altitude deadly interceptor. We've got a Gatling laser, range of 3, 6D damage, armor piercing 10, auto 4. The Ohu hyperkinetic. These are, air-to-air missiles with a range of 200, damage of 4D, and they're smart as well. Also got advanced laser AMS like the other aircraft. Autopilot gives you +3, much like the other one. Both of them give you comm range of 1,000, +4 nav on both planes, +2 sensors on both planes. The Shrike has a -2 camouflage, whereas the Goshawk has none, but they both have -4 stealth. +2 agility, hypersonic, supersonic as well, 14 armor on all sides, range 10,000, 15,000 respectively, crew of 5, 136 hull points, about double what Shrike attack aircraft has. Then we go into watercraft. So we've got the Tiburon class light patrol boat. This one you need ocean ship under seafarer again, tech level 11, 15 armor on all sides, agility -4, speed slow or very slow, but it's got a long range of 8,000 or 12,000. Hull points 184, 2 crew, 12 passengers. Got some decent sensor systems and some various weapon mounts as well. You ended with +2 autopilot, 500 kilometer comms, +2 nav, +1 sensors. And then you have your 20mm autocannon, a PGVM, which is 5D damage, AP 10, auto 4, and blast 2. And a medium rotary machine gun, and then your Lux missiles as well, which are hyperkinetic. Then we got our Pambuna Paus Hunter submarine. The Pambuna Paus means killer whale. It's a patrol submarine. So it's tech level 12, armor 24 on all sides, safe depth of 6,000 meters, not bad. Crush depth 18,000, 7 crew, 2 passengers, 558 hull points. Wow. Now it's got automed, advanced autopilots, 10 bunks, so it's designed for long missions. decoy dispensers, advanced underwater sensor mass, all kinds of stuff. It's got a subsonic supercavitating drive, +3 autopilot, 1,000 kilometers comms, nav +4, sensors +2, underwater sensors +4, and -4 stealth. Nice. It's got a sprint torpedo, range of 10, 3 double D damage, so it's 3D times 10, AP 30, blast 10, 1 use, and sprint. Got a blue-green light laser cannon, which fires through the water, arm piercing 2, auto 2, 4D damage, 2.5mm auto cannon with auto 3, and a Lux missile, which just says hyperkinetic AP20. So there's some typos in this book, I have to say. Then finally we have the Beowulf class surface frigate. Pretty cool looking. It's going to slice through the water. These ships are built in orbit around at the Harland and Wolff yards around the world of Beowulf and exported as needed. Agility of -4, armor of 34 on the front sides and rear. They can move pretty fast, high. It's a top or medium cruise. So a range of 12,000 or 18,000 depending. 40 crew, 20 passengers, 2,400 hull points. My God. They've got airlocks, anti-missile systems, autopilots, 40 bunks, cranes, 2 galleys, 10 freshers, aerofoils, all kinds of stuff. Then you've got the LGS 85 on your small turret for 2D times 10 damage, AP 25 auto 3, heavy machine gun, 60 damage auto 4, Ohu anti-aircraft missiles with a range of 40. They're hyperkinetic, of course. We got the torpedoes with a range of 50, damage of 5 double D, so that'll blow a hole in a submarine or another ship, with armor piercing 60 as well. Wow. Then you got 3-barrel autocannons, 5D auto 6, and 2 anti-missile systems. Then we get into alien vehicles. So we got Kafer vehicles. These will be for the invasion campaign. Got the unusual tracked motorcycle here. This little funny looking guy. So it's tech level 11, drive track, armored 3 on all sides, only 3 hull points, but it moves at high or medium speed. It's an ATV and an open vehicle, so watch your head. Got a fixed mount Kafer medium machine gun, +1 nav, +0 sensors, and 50 kilometer comms. And the Kafer medium machine gun does 5D damage with armor piercing 5 and auto 4. Then we got the Kafer equivalent of a Jeep, armor 14 on all sides, including the bottom, tech level 12. It's a wheel drive vehicle, speed is high or medium, range 600 or 900 depending. 1 passenger, 3 crew, 14 hull points. Does it have any weapons? No, it's non-combat use. Okay. We got the cockroach car. So that's this guy down here. This is a tracked vehicle, a low armor, 6 on all sides, +1 agility, speed is high or medium, range 450 or 675 depending. 1 crew, 15 passengers, 40 hull points. Kafer Beamer. So pretty short range, but 5D damage, armor piercing 12, auto 2, and blast 1, which is handy. Powered by a fuel cell as well. Then we got the Crawler, a very common Kafer vehicle, tech level 12, track drive, armor 32, 22, 20, getting a bit more up there. Agility -1 though, and speed is medium or slow, range at 600 or 900 depending. Crew 2, passengers 10, 78 hull points. It's an armored fighting vehicle and mine resistant with bottom protection 32. Plus it's got camouflage, some nav points, and a bunch of weapons. Got Kafer Type 5 Tri-Beamer, range 1.2, damage 5D, AP 12, auto 6, blast 1. Kafer Type 3 machine gun, range 0.5, damage 5, D, AP 5, auto 4. And the Kafer Type 1 missile Snapfire, range of 1, damage 4, D, AP 30, and smart. Then we got a floater. This is an air cushion vehicle, the Kafer equivalent of a hovercraft, and hence uses the drive hover skill. Notice everything is at tech level 12. They're a bit more advanced than some of the stuff that the humans are using. So this one gets agility +2, speed of high or cruise at medium, range 525 or 787.5. Depending. 3 crew, 6 passengers, 24 hull points, and armor 36, 20, 20. A bunch of useful systems, including a 30-meter jump jet, 500 kilometer comms range, +2 nav, +2 sensors, -4 camo, -2 stealth. It's got a Kafer Beamer, 5D, AP 12, auto 2, blast 1 again. Snapfire missile, range 1, 4D damage, AP 30, and smart. And the minigun AMS for defense. Right, then we got the Crawler 2, codenamed Growler. So this is a tech level 12 tracked vehicle. Agility -1, but decent armor at 44, 40, and 36. It's an armored fighting vehicle trait. It's got a speed of medium or slow, range of 600 or 900. Crew 2, passengers 12, 69 hull points. And it's got camouflage and a small turret with a Kafer Beamer. So you get 500 kilometer comms, +1 nav, -2 camouflage. And then the Beamer we've seen before, AP 12, auto 2, blast 1. Pretty tough. We got the Death Sled. Yeah, look how cool that looks. This is the monster hovercraft bristling with weapons, it says. Tech level 13. First time we've seen that. Hover drive, +2 agility, high speed, cruises at medium, range 700 or 1050 depending, 4 crew, 58 hull points, armor 95, 80, and 65. Nothing on the bottom. Armored fighting vehicle with a bunch of useful stuff. Jump jets are only 5 meters. I imagine it's very heavy. And it's got a load of weapons. And it's got 500 kilometer comms, +1 nav, +2 sensors, -2 camo, 1.3 millimeter mass driver, range 4, damage 2 double D, so 2D times 10, armor piercing 25, auto 4. Yikes. 23mm autocannon, 60 damage, auto 3. Heavy machine gun, AP 30, one use and smart. No, that can't be right. That must be a missile. There's definitely errata here. Then we got the Kingfisher missile with a range of 12, 60 damage, AP 16, one use and smart. That makes sense. The Beamer, we've seen before. Sawbill missile, range of 20, 3D damage, and one use and smart. So that would be your anti-aircraft, I assume. So there's some mistake here, but we'll figure out what that's supposed to be. Then we got the Behemoth. So large that analysts are having difficulty determining how it's moved from world to world. It's an armored fighting vehicle and an all-terrain vehicle as well. Tech level 13 again. 216 armor in the front. My God. 100 in the sides, 80 in the rear, 216 in the bottom. It's a tracked vehicle with agility +1, medium or slow speed, range 700 or 1050, 342 hull points. My God. You get +0 autopilot, 1,000 kilometer range comms, +2 nav, +2 sensors, -4 stealth. So it's even got stealth on this thing. Blimey. It's got a pulsed laser cannon, 3 double D, range of 4, armor piercing 40, auto 5. Yikes. It's got a beamer and a tri-beamer. So that one has auto 6 instead of auto 2 like the regular beamer. The Kingfisher missile, range of 4, damage 6, AP 16, overhead and smart. The Sawbill missile for anti-aircraft usage, and 2 types of AMS. Then we've got the Whirligig, also known as the Havoc. So this has intermesh rotors. Tech level 12, so we drop down a level. Armor 24, 16, 16, nothing on the bottom. That seems an oversight for an aerial vehicle if you ask me, but you've seen that before. Agility +1, speed fast or high, range 750 or 1125 depending. Crew of 2, no passengers, 5 hull points only, but it does have a small turret and 8 hard points. +0 autopilot, 500 range comms, nav +2, sensors +2, and stealth -2, 23mm autocannon we've seen before, and the Snapfire missile as well. Then we've got the Kafer Walker. Tech level 12. You need drive walker for this one. Armor 36, 14, 8, and 36. Maximum speed medium or cruise it slow. Range is 112.5 or 168.75 depending. Crew of 1. Cargo 250 kilos. 1.5 hull points. Armed with a heavy machine gun. Okay, that's what the heavy machine gun is supposed to look like. 7D damage. Range of 2. Auto 6. So put that into the death sled stat block instead of the missile traits they have in there. Then we got the Hive Wagon, codenamed Grackle. Tech level 12. Wheel drive. Armor 14, 14, 14. Crew of 2, 8 passengers, hull points 90. It's an all-terrain vehicle, just a ring mount medium machine gun. Nothing much to say on the other systems except for +2 nav and an extended range comms that are encrypted as well. Then we get pentapod vehicles. These are interesting because the pentapods use bioengineering for most of their stuff. So they're modified living creatures, essentially. So we got the Jelly Belly airship here. Tech level 12. It's an airship flyer with agility -2 and medium maximum speed, slow cruise speed. Armor 4 on all sides. It's also got its own stats here because it is a living creature. It's got a dex of 8, education of 8, and an int of 6. No crew, 10 passengers, 10 tons of cargo, 162 hull points. It's an ectothermic invertebrate, but it's also got 8 bunks, 10 manipulator arms, advanced, navigation and sensor systems, plus some stealth as well. Comms range of 50, nav +1, sensors +0, camouflage -1, stealth -1. Then we got the Sand Spider. Look at this creepy guy. Tech level 12, it's a drive walker skill for this one. Agility +3, only armor of 4 on all sides, again like the airship. It's got drive walker 1 skill by itself, much like this one has flyer airship 1 by itself. And it's got dex of 8, EDU of 8, and int of 6. Same stats as the other. +3 agility, medium or slow speeds, but a much lower range, 450 or 675. Holds 5 passengers. It's an endothermic vertebrate. Got comm systems, 3 advanced manipulator arms, and a wet bar. So you got 50 kilometer comms range, +1 nav, +0 sensors, -1 camo, -1 stealth. Creepy. Then we have finally the Kraken. This is a pentapod submarine. Got the Seafarer submarine skill at 3. That's pretty good. It has agility -2 though, and its speed is slow or very slow. Range is 2,000 or 3,000 depending. 18 passengers, 216 hull points. It's an endothermic invertebrate. It's got a fixed mount sonic screamer. And with all this stuff here, you end up with 10 manipulator arms, 50 kilometers comms range, +2 nav, +1 sensors, -1 camouflage, and -5 stealth. And the sonic screamer is range of 1, damage of 8D. And a trait is blast 12, and there's no magazine or magazine cost, so you can just keep firing it. Then we get Sung vehicles. So the Sung are capable of flight on their own, so they tend not to use short-range personal transport. They do use a lot of drones, and they don't tend to use private vehicles. So there's only a few vehicles listed here, basically. Got the Class 1 hover tank, so it uses aerofoils and vector thrusters, which you can see on the wings here. The armament is unusual because it's a pair of high output laser cannons able to fire in rapid succession, and it carries several drones that can relay firing information to missile-armed vehicles at the rear of a battle line. So tech level 12, drive hover, armor 76, 52, 44, 76 is pretty decent. Agility plus 4, can move it very fast or cruise it fast. Range of 700 or 1050 depending. 3 crew, 66 hull points. It's an armored fighting vehicle with a load of cool stuff including corrosive environment protection, 4 recon drones, improved DCM, and neural link and good sensors, and stealth. And it's got this small turret with 2 laser cannons and a supercharger. Autopilot plus 3, comms 1000, nav plus 2, sensors plus 2, stealth minus 4, and laser cannon has a long range of 4. Damage is 1 double D, 1D times 10. Armor piercing 30. Then you've got the advanced laser AMS to take out incoming missiles. And then we also have the Class 2 Hover IFV. The Sung don't like to be confined, so their vehicles kind of reflect that. This is another hover drive vehicle. Agility plus 5. Armor 72, 40, and 32. Nothing on the bottom. Cruises at high speed or tops out at fast. Range is 700 at fast or 1050 at high. 3 crew, 8 passengers, 88 hull points. Got camouflage, corrosive environment protection, drone rack, improved DCM. It's a low altitude vehicle at 50 meters. And it's got a small turret with a Gatling laser and grenade launcher, which you can see down below. And it's got plus 0 autopilot, 1000 comms, plus 2 nav, plus 2 sensors, minus 4 camouflage, and minus 2 stealth. That's really good. Gatling laser is a range of 3, damage 6D, armor piercing 10, auto 4. Grenade launcher, range of 3, damage 6D, auto 3, blast 5. You got the Class 3 ground logistics vehicle. They're heavy-duty wheeled vehicles. Armor 18, 14, 10, and 18 on the bottom. Agility plus 0, medium and slow speeds, and range 1200, 1800 respectively. Crew 2, 6 passengers, 150 hull points. And these are kind of workhorse vehicles. They've got a modular bay with 25 spaces. Autopilot plus 2, comm range 50, nav plus 2, sensors plus 0, camouflage minus 2. So all in all, pretty handy. And 150 hull points as well. It's not bad. Now we got the Eber vehicles. These are pretty funny because these are kind of very low tech level vehicles. The Eber seem like friendly folk, but they are very much not advanced. They don't have higher technology. So they got things like animal pulled wagon, stats for that. Armor 1, tech level 3, drive wheel, agility minus 2, very slow. It cruises at idle speed. 2 crew, no passengers, 1.5 tons of cargo, hull points of 8, and control system primitive, and nothing else. We got the land boat. Look at this guy. Tech level 3, armor of 6 on all sides, wheeled drive vehicle, agility minus 1, speed is idle or idle, range is 100 or 150, 3 passengers, 2 crew, 60 hull points. It's an off-roader with primitive control and a fixed mount black powder cannon, which does 70 damage at 0.5 range, no further traits. We got the E-horse, the Aber horse, an ungainly quadruped, which is the animal stat block here. So it's got 38 hit points, speed of 10 meters, life support times 4. It's got skills in athletics, strength 2, melee 0. Can attack for a trample with 2 dice of damage. It's got the traits of large, plus 1, and it's an herbivore and a grazer. Then we got the walkers section. So here we got a whole bunch of different types of mech suits, basically. So we've got your civilian walkers, the Poseidon Deep Diver exosuit right here. This guy's tech level 12. You need drive walker, of course. It's got armor 12, front, sides, and rear. And it's got a safe depth and crush depth of 8,000 meters and 24,000 meters respectively. So very respectable for diving exploration. Plus 1 agility, speed is high or medium, range 150 or 225. Only 1 crew, of course, because it's a walker. Hull points of 1. So not great. It does have a drone rack for exploration, force feedback arms, basic nav. So you get autopilot plus 1, 50 kilometer comms, nav plus 1, and underwater sensors plus 0. You got the racing walker. Look at this sleek looking guy. No arms. Very weird, but it's made for racing only. We have armor 3 of all sides, agility plus 0, speed high or medium, range 225 or 337.5, crew of 1 obviously, 4 hull points. It's an all-terrain vehicle, and it's got a few useful things on it, including a med kit and improved sensors, so that gives you 50 kilometer comms, plus 1 nav, plus 1 sensors. Then we got the Madoc class Scout Walker. That looks very, very Battletech to me. I like that. So this one is tech level 12, armor 3 on all sides. It's a walker, of course. Speed is medium or slow, 262.5 range or 393.75, very specific there. 1.5 hull points, all-terrain vehicle. Got some decent stuff, comfort fittings, drone rack, entertainment system, 2 force feedback arms, jump jets, 10 meters, again, very Battletech. Suit lock and toolkit. Gives you plus 2 autopilot, 1,000 kilometer comms range, plus 4 nav. nav and +2 sensors. Pretty good. Then we've got the Hom Fort Utility Walker, workhorse type of vehicle. Tech level 10, agility +1, speed slow or very slow. Range is only 75 or 112.5 depending. Armor 3 on all sides. It's an open vehicle, so you can get hit while you're inside of it. It's got 50 kilometer comms range, and that's it. It's got cargo arms ×2, improved exoskeleton controls, and 2 strong feedback arms. Then we got the Mule Corp CW1 Centaur Construction Walker. So this one has 4 arms, +3 agility, slow or very slow, range 225 or 337.5, 16 hull points, so it's quite a bit tougher. Armor on 3 on all sides. It's all terrain, got cargo arms, comm system, 4 feedback arms ×2, heavy toolkit, plasma cutting and welding torch. You can also use the nail gun and plasma welder as weapons if you're really desperate, so they have stats down here, but they're not very good. Then you get autopilot +0, 50 kilometers comms, and +0 sensors, so not much to write home about. You got this weird ass thing, which is like a boat, walker, something. Apparently it's used for logging, so it's got a nice long chassis here that you can dump logs onto. Tech level 11, drive walker skill of course, agility +3, speed slow or very slow, armor 3 on all sides, 40 hull points, because it's quite a bit bigger than the others. That's an ATV, articulated chassis, nothing much else to write home about. +0 autopilot, 50 kilometer comms, nav +1, sensors +0. Alyeska Industries GD27 Big Daddy. It's an orbital construction walker. That's pretty cool. So tech level 11, +1 agility, medium speed or slow, range 100 or 150, 1.5 hull points, armor 3 on all sides. It's an ATV. It's got a drone rack and an EVA pack. Force feedback arms ×4, life support, med kit, plasma cutting and welding torch, a rescue ball, and vacuum environment protection. So everything you need to be an orbital constructing walker. 50 kilometer comms, +1 nav, +1 sensors. Then we have combat walker. The BH-12. This one is tech level 11, agility +2, armor 18 on all sides, 1.5 hull points. It's got some camouflage as well as comms and some nav. So you got 50 kilometers range for comms, nav +1, sensors +0, camouflage -2. It's got a handheld 20mm auto rifle and a fixed mount rocket launcher as well. That's the BH-12 there. We have the Isonade Combat Swimmer, KZ-5 Combat Walker, which I guess is this guy here. KZ-5 or KZ-6 Combat Walker. These are tech level 11 walkers with agility +2, armor 19, 14, and 13. Crew of 1, speed medium or slow, range 100 or 150. We've got camouflage, and the weapon a handheld Kurita PGCW, which is listed down here. Range of only 0.2, but damage of 8D with armor piercing 14 and blast 2. So pretty tough against another mech suit or a person. Comms 50, nav +1, sensors +0, camouflage -2. Then we got the BH-21C, a modified BH-21 Combat Walker, adapted for use in vacuum. So it's a tech level 12, the agility +3, speed medium or slow, range 150 or 225 depending, armor 29, 21, 21, only 1 hull point, but it has an anti-missile system, mag lock feet, neural link, suit lock, and vacuum protection. It's got a PGVM and an arm mount, which you see down here. Range 0.35, damage 10D, armor piercing 10, blast 2. And it's got 500 kilometer comms range, +1 nav, and +1 sensors. So good for use in the vacuum. Here's the combat swimmer finally. So first developed by Japan. So it's a underwater walker, essentially, a 1 crew submarine with legs. It's got tech level 12, armor 16 on all sides. It's got a safe depth of 2,000 meters and a crush depth of 6,000. That's pretty good. Agility 0, speed medium or slow, crew of 1, 16 hull points. All-terrain vehicle with improved autopilot, underwater sensors, improved basic stealth, and it's got light blue-green lasers for underwater usage, which have AP2. Range 5, damage 4D. It's got a grenade launcher with auto 4, damage 6D, and mini torpedoes, range 10, damage 6D, AP 10, blast 10, 1 use. That's pretty cool. And you end up with +1 autopilot, 50 kilometers comms, +2 nav, +1 sensors, -2 camouflage, -1 stealth. Chiban-T Defense Systems Type 9-3 Combat Walker. So this is a tech level 11 walker with agility 0. Looks pretty awkward, I have to say. Speed medium or slow, range 450 to 675 depending. 6 hull points, armor 20, 14, 12. It's an ATV, it's got some camouflage, life support short term, underwater and regular sensors, and basic stealth. So this one has +0 autopilot, 50 kilometer comms range, +1 sensors, -1 camouflage, and a 25mm autocannon, range 1, damage 60, auto 3. We got the TW9 Snow Walker, tech level 11, +1 agility walker with armor 23, 23, 23. Speed is slow or very slow, range 450 or 675 depending. 8 hull points, all-terrain vehicle, improved camouflage, improved autopilot, hostile environment, various sensors. Autopilot +2, 500 kilometers comms, nav +1, sensor +1, camo -2, heavy Gauss rifle, 60 damage at range 1.2 with armor piercing 10, and a grenade launcher, range 3, damage 60, auto 3, blast 5. Then we have finally the Kodiak Combat Walker, used by the US, Australia, and Nigeria. The tech level 12 walker, agility +3. It's pretty good. Armor 17 on each side. Speed, medium or slow, range 150 or 225 respectively. Crew of 1, obviously. Hull points of 1. Anti-missile system, advanced camouflage, improved comms, improved controls. Jump jets 10 meters. That's handy. Got 500 kilometers comms, +2 nav, +1 sensors, -4 camo, -2 stealth. Then it's armed with a binary rotary machine gun, damage 4D, AP5 auto 8, breacher shotgun, 0.25 range, damage 4D, AP5 auto 2, and the Lux missile, 3 of those, 8D damage, AP20 hyperkinetic, 1 use and smart, we've seen before. And we got some drones. So human drones, we got 2, the spotter drone and the loiter munition. Spotter drone, as it sounds, is designed to mark targets for artillery. This is a typical example, tech level 12. It's a vertical takeoff and landing craft with its rotors there. It's got skills in athletics, dexterity 1, gun combat 0, recon 1, stealth 3, tactics military 2. And it uses a laser designator, endurance of 24 hours, traits of armor +4, infrared vision, and small -3, programming hunter killer tactical, intelligence 3, and then it's got a bunch of options you can add to it. But note that it's laid out like a creature stat block. The loiter munition is a drone that operates way over a battlefield, and then it looks for targets that match its criteria. Once it gets human confirmation of the target, it goes in for the attack. So this one is a typical example with 12 hits, speed, faster, medium, tech level 12, aeroplane, skills, athletics, dexterity 1, gun combat vehicle 2, navigation 3, recon 0, stealth 2, tactics military 2, and it carries a 6D warhead with armor piercing 15 and blast 2, endurance of 12 hours with +4 armor, hardened, small -1, and vision, programming hunter killer tactical, int 4, and a bunch of options. The Sung drones, so they have near analogs of most human drones, so they like recon drones because they like to use long-range artillery. So here's a Sung recon drone. It's got 8 hits, speed higher medium, tech level 13. It's an aeroplane, skills and gun combat, energy 1, recon 1, stealth 2. It's got a laser designator, 12 hours endurance, armor +4, IR vision, small -2, drone programming, and then a bunch of different options you can add to it as well. Pretty cool. Then we got rules for vehicle modifications. So I won't go through all these, but there are the different types of design aspects that you can modify about machines, their cost and what they do. So catamaran hulls for seacraft, cyclocranes for hybrid airships, drone cradles, low altitude vehicles, what they do, modular bays, luxury fittings, tractors, biotech constructs, if you want to make new pentapod stuff, power takeoff, vehicular armor, mine-resistant vehicles, aircraft recovery systems. So that's for light aircraft, aerodynes, and helicopters, save you from death. Drop pallet is to allow a vehicle to be dropped out of an aircraft and land safely. That's pretty cool. And the articulated chassis, of course, basically helps you follow the ground more closely, the contours of the ground, rather. Then we've got our new vehicle weapons, so mini torpedoes, sprint torpedoes, EMK-65L. It's a high-speed kinetic round. The CM-65, a French-made copy of the EMK-65. The 30mm 6-barrel rotary cannon. There's a new weapon trait called Sprint, so they're much, much faster. If the target of the Sprint torpedo is within half the listed range, it will be struck the same combat round the weapon is fired. If the weapon is farther away than that, it will be struck the following round, so they are really fast. Then we got the different missiles, the Martel missiles, which follow a silhouette. The Manta 1 missile, they achieve Mach 5 speed shortly after launch. The Ohu missile is an air defense one, hypersonic, with a range of 200 and can get there in less than 3 minutes. And when it closes with the target, it fires 3 smaller interceptors that individually home in on the target, striking at extremely high speed. The missiles are so fast that a warhead is superfluous. Wow. And we got the autocannons, then some description of the Kafer weapons, the medium machine gun, heavy machine gun, 23mm autocannon, the beamer, tri-beamer, heavy pulse laser cannon, the 101.3mm mass driver, the Snapfire missile, so this is designed to fire at aerial targets, the Kingfisher missile, mostly is anti-armor, and the Sawbill is the long-range anti-aircraft missile. And the Sung weapons basically use lasers, and spacecraft make use of mass drivers. Then we have a walker modification system, so you can add EVA packs, handheld weapons, drone cradles, auto meds to help heal wounds if you get wounded while you're in your walker, plasma gun, created a Type 21M, PGCW, plasma cutting or welding torch, torches for workhorse vehicles, toolkits for basic mechanical tasks like repair, underwater toolkit, space toolkits, a suit lock, so basically it's pressurized in the interior. You can have parachutes, shock pads, so if you drop it from something, you can use shock pads to land safely. Armored coveralls, comfort options, maximum absorbency garment, diaper up, basically. And the brace is a third leg if you're going to be firing a heavy weapon or a sniper system. Gives you DM +2 to all strength-based checks or DM +1 to attack rolls at medium range or greater, but you can't move. And there you go. That is the Vehicles of the Frontier book. So that's it for part 1 of this video. So I'll come back again with part 2 next week, and we will look at the other handy book for 2300 AD, which is the Tools of Frontier Living. So thanks for sticking with me through all this. I hope you got some use out of it. It is a really cool book. There's tons of great stuff in there that fires the imagination, and it's lots of fuel for cool conflicts and campaigns, fighting over colonies and stuff in the inhabited worlds of 2300 AD. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe. It keeps me motivated. If you're really motivated to help me out, then do check out the Ko-fi link in my description, which will help me to keep buying these crazy expensive books to review for you guys. I would do it anyway for the most part, but it does tug on my finances somewhat, so every little bit helps. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you with part 2 next week. All right, take care. Bye-bye.